Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon for anybody tuning in today. Now, before I start, I also wanted to make sure that everybody's safe tonight. It's rainy where I am. It's thunder and lightning like Thor is battling somebody outside. So hopefully everybody's home, everybody's safe. And today our video is on one of the most loved Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse right now is Noir Spider-Man, whose name is also Peter B. Parker or Peter J. Parker, I forgot. Now, Noir's origin is a little interesting. His comic book run takes place, I believe, after World War One and right before World War Two. His uncle Ben, before we get any further than that, his uncle Ben was a veteran, and according to, I think also too, that Aunt May was like one of the few women who like made the uniforms for the guys. It kind of gives me that vibe about my family, because my grandmother did the same thing when she was in the army. She made uniforms for the military, and my grandfather was a general, so I vibe more a little bit more with more Noir, even though Ben Reilly is still my favorite. But in this universe, Peter Parker still sorta works for the Daily Bugle, but instead of him like being a photographer, he shadows a reporter throughout most of New York back in the day. Now, I forgot the name of the reporter, forgive me. It's been a minute since I even read the comics. I haven't even finished, because there's technically more to his story, and then there are side stories, and I'll explain them in a minute. But anywho, he was God, I forgot where I was going with this. He was shadowing a reporter, and the typical villains we have in New York are always the same. So in this universe, the Green Goblin is a mob enforcer, and he owns a circus. The villains in this universe are like, one second. In this universe, like, his villains are basically the same, but a little bit different. Like, for an example, the murderer of Uncle Ben in this universe, it is not who we're thinking it is. And honestly, his origin story for Uncle Ben is so much sadder, because according to what I remember reading, Uncle Ben was eaten by the Vulture. And they even expressed this origin story in the game Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. After the second chapter, when you start playing as Noir, he said the murderer and the same man who killed my uncle, and he ate him. Like, the Vulture is a cannibal. I hope y'all all get that in your systems early on about that. I was kind of disturbed with that origin story, but it worked, so it is what it is. Now, under Green Goblin, you have the Vulture working for him. You have Tombstone. You got, who else? I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. If I think of any more, they'll all come to mind. But them two specifically stick out for me. But yeah, he was shadowing a reporter. They came across some of Green Goblin's goons during a deal, and they end up they killed the reporter, and they almost killed Peter Parker. But in this universe, instead of him getting getting bitten by a radioactive spider, he is actually offered powers from a spider god. Think of it as like Khonshu from Moon Knight when he asked Mark Spector to be his vessel. It's kind of like how it was, but a little strange, but it's okay. You take it how you wish, but that's what I interpreted like. But it took, and then what makes it even better, it was like a good twist on him, because originally he's one of the few Spider-Men that shoots organic webbing. Like, in my mind, and for me, Toby was the only one who could do it, and it made so much sense. But when I found out as a kid that he wasn't supposed to do that, I was kind of upset watching the movie, because I'm like, that makes so much sense. Why would Spider-Man not shoot organic webbing? But as time passed on, I didn't care no more. But yeah, he has organic webbing. He got the strength of a spider, just like every other Peter Parker. He can stick to walls, just like every other Peter Parker. Now, what also made him stand out, too, is he carried a gun at one point. He didn't mind killing at some point, but it eventually changed because it was Aunt May that changed him because she didn't want him to become a killer. And the fact that he was about to kill the Vulture, I believe, in front of Aunt May, is what made her, like, hate him even more. Because she changed. She was like, I don't even know who you are anymore. You're not supposed to be this. Your uncle wouldn't want this. It doesn't matter what happened to him. He wants the best for you. You know, that typical stuff. The what did he call it? The Parker luck? Dang it, I missed. But after that, he stopped using guns. He stopped being a little brutal to most of his villains. He tried to be better. And he got better. And then Felicia Hardy is a part of his story too. I think they have a somewhat romantic relationship. They don't really express that, you know, much intenseness. But you know, in every universe, they tend to get together. And she owns a club. And I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna try and guess. I think the Hardy Lounge, something like that. You know, it's the old days, so something old times. I am so gonna get in trouble for saying that. Sorry for anybody who takes that the wrong way, but yeah. But yeah, she helps him out on some of his adventure. Now, iterate, like, places he's been, I'm gonna say in media, video games, all that stuff. Everybody knows him now because of the Spider-Verse. Let's just get that out the way. Nicolas Cage played him well. I didn't mind the comedic humor from him. It was perfectly placed. If we say animated movie, there's none, but he's been in a couple of TV shows. Well, in my mind, I believe just one, which is the Drake Bell version with their early version of the Spider-Verse. Now, in the books, he plays a very crucial role. He's one of the toughest Spider-Men they have amongst the entire crew, and also the most skilled in strategy. Oh boy. Bye, guy. And he's very favored amongst the ranks of Peter Parker. And I say that because there's a side where Doc Ock is more like, you know, they can kill if necessary. Then there's Peter, like, we don't do that. And please don't call me Milady ever again. And you see how he has the gun on his hip? It's just for detail. You can't really use it. If we could, it'd be so messed up, but it goes against his character. Now, where else he's been? He was also, spoiler alert, across the Spider-Verse as well. He didn't get any lines. A lot of us were a little upset. I was hoping to hear Nick Cage's voice again play this character because I loved him as this character. My man was a G. Now, if we say in video games, he's been everywhere. It's like Tupac, I get around. Like, this man has been in everything. I know he was in a chapter. Like, he was in most of the game of Shattered Dimensions. I loved him in Shattered Dimensions. It was like another serious take on Peter Parker. Like, you know, not just Miguel being serious. Noir was kind of serious too. But he has his funny moments too in the game. So I was like, okay, I get with it. And then I know he was probably a skin in Shattered Dimensions. He's been a skin in this game. He's got a skin in the Amazing Spider-Man, the second one, not the first one. They're even trying to pretend they're legit. And his comic book run came out in 2009, so I don't think he was anything before that. Now he's either referenced as like a side character in a movie, or he's actually there as a side character, or his suit is like a skin, like right in this game. If I'm not mistaken, he's in this game and he's in the Avengers game that came out right after this game. The suit in that game is not as good. It's more accurate though, but it's not as good. It's not as clean like this suit. Now, originally his suit came with a trench coat and a hat, but you don't get that much in this game. You don't get the trench coat. You don't get the hat. But I do enjoy the mask. I'll let that one go. The mask makes sense to me. I know it might just be like, you know, a great cover, but it still gives off that nostalgia. Like the goggles too. Everything about his outfit gives off a classic nostalgia. Now, mind you, back in the day, they wore dress clothes a lot. So his pants, dress shirt. The vest is a little different since it's made of leather. Same go for the gloves. Let's see. How I want to do this. Yoink. Stepping on the beach. I'm just kidding. I was watching SpongeBob. Let's see. Now, in my opinion, if they wanted to like make their own like solo Spider-Verse movies, and I mean live action or animated, yes, I would love for Noir to be one of the first few to get his own. He fits so well into like a live adaptation, and he got a darker origin story versus most of the Spider-Men that we can think of. Like, I love Miles. I won't lie, I love Miles. I'm not gonna say I ever don't love Miles. But if they wanted to take a different direction and start their own live action Spider-Verse, I think Noir should get his own. Might actually be the first one in general to start. Now, don't get me wrong, his origin story is kind of like Andrew's. A little darker take on the character, a different take on the character in general in a different environment. You'd be like, hey, what if Spider-Man was to go in space? Like, what if he came to Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, Noir is like, what if he was part of the Howling Commandos? Some, nostalgia. And then on top of that, this Spider-Man takes like a supernatural turn on things. It's not science-based. None of his stuff is science-based. Although the only thing that still kind of gets me, if any of us diehard Spider-Man fans saw in Ultimate Spider-Man, that there's an actual Hulk though in the Noir universe, and then according to what I saw, he was accused of murdering Mary Jane.
What they're importing is not something I want as a memento. Demons. Looks like they bring in their buddies in shipping containers. Explains how foreign nationals with criminal records are getting into the country. You guys look mad. I admit, I used all my good quips on the others, but I don't mind repeating myself.
I won't lie, that really should have hit me.
This is like when the band's doing its I kind of want to go home.
Do.
Step right up, fellas. I got plenty of webbing for all of you.
Ooh. Ah! What did I just do? I don't know what I did, but that's okay. Resupply? Oh, wait, hold on. If that's the case, boom, 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 boom. Who else? Ooh. That was easy.
MJ, call the police.
Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. For the Noir universe, there are, I think, about 7 other comic book stories. I think, I could be wrong. I'm gonna label out right now. There's a Daredevil, there's an Iron Fist, there's an Iron Man, that's 3. There's a Punisher, that makes 4. There's a Wolverine, that makes 5. There is an X-Men comic book as well, that makes 6. And I believe there's a Noir Luke Cage that makes 7. I have no clue if there's anybody else in the Noir universe for a story. I don't know why them particular 7 got Noir stories. It'd be cool to see a World War II Captain America fighting in New York, but I don't think they ever made that storyline. And I actually tried to save some of the books in my Amazon cart, so if I really want to tune into the Noir universe, get some backstory on what I had missed, I got backup. I think I'll probably do one more Hold
Keep being
on.
negative,
Doink.
only criticizing, not offering solutions when it comes to Spider-Man. Here's my solution, and it's very simple. Unmask. Join the police academy. Wear a badge. Then you can catch all the crooks you want, and I'll sing your praises on this very show. And all that hogwash about how that would place his loved ones in danger, come.
Thank you. Oh, so we're just gonna go right to it. All right, then let's go. How are we gonna go in?
I said no more city halls, and I
Ooh,
meant it.
ooh, ooh, ooh. Boop, boop. Nope.
Demons are down. Time for the bomb.
Wrong button. Sorry.
Bomb triggers wired in series.
We messed up somewhere here. I haven't done these puzzles in a minute, so please forgive me.
That did it.
Heads up. Snipers on the far roof.
Try keeping up with me.
Bomb's defused. Time to deal with those snipers.
Here we go. Ah!
My team will dispose the bomb. Great work, Spider-Man.
Happy to help, officer. Stay safe.
Well, with that said, y'all, that concludes this lore video on this favored Spider-Man. I'll get you guys in the next video. Now, I have no idea what I might do next. It might be a giant collaboration, might be a small one. Don't know. Later, Websters.
Living on the edge, fighting crime, spinning webs, swinging from the highest ledge. He could leap above my head. Villains on the rise and the city's victimized. Looking up with no surprise, arriving in the